The central government recently asked the states to allow farmers to sell their produce directly to customers during the lockdown period by relaxing the requirements under the APMC Acts. This measure is suggested to make sure that farmers can continue to make a living during the lockdown. But what are these APMC Acts and why do they stop the farmers from selling their produce directly to the consumers in the first place? In this episode of So Basically, we will talk about farmers' freedom to sell their products to whomever they want. First, let us understand what this APMC Act is. APMC stands for Agricultural Produce Market Committee. It is a marketing board established by the state governments with the intention to ensure that farmers are safeguarded from exploitation. The APMC system was first established by the British to make sure that the textile mills in England could get cheap cotton from India. According to the Act, the first sale of agricultural produce can occur only at the APMC market yards or mandis and only to government authorized traders. The restriction to sell products only in the APMC mandis also limits interstate trade. India has over 7,000 of these regulated mandis. Just imagine, all of India's farmers, over 9 crores of them, have just 7,000 mandis to sell their products in. The limits on the sale of products outside the mandi results in a government monopoly over sale and purchase of farm produce. The mandis impose multiple fees and charges on all the parties involved. The buyers and sellers pay a market fee. All service providers, including the commissioning agents, warehousing agents, and loading agents, pay a licensing fee. The commissioning agents also charge a fee on the sales between buyers and sellers, and these fees are often exorbitant and eat into the farmers' profits. Sometimes, even farmers have to pay from their pocket after giving their produce.
What has happened over time is that the very purpose seems to have been defeated. Farmers get exploited there. There are malpractices and corruption. There is multiplicity of taxes and fees which create hurdles in the way of a movement of grains and other agricultural commodities. And farmers are not allowed to sell it in the open market.
Yes.
And this means there is some kind of monopoly or restrictive practices.
Despite the high cost of operation, the agricultural mandis lack modern amenities and have poor infrastructure. For example, weighing is manual and facilities to store and refrigerate food are limited or absent. Farmers have to wait in long queues for extended periods of time to get paid. You must have heard often that farmers get barely 2 or 3 rupees a kilo for potatoes, but you buy them for 20 or 25 rupees or more. Why is that? There are several elements that can explain the difference between the price that farmers receive and the price that consumers pay. There are costs at all levels. Farmers have to pay mandi charges and packing charges. Traders have to pay shop charges, labor charges, transportation and also storage. And retailers have to pay taxes, rent, labor costs, etc. A recent RBI study found that farmers receive only 28 to 78% of the final retail price across 16 food items. Imagine that. For every 1 rupee spent by you on fruits, vegetables and grains, farmers only get 28 to 78 paisa. Late farm leader and a Rajya Sabha member Sharad Joshi highlighted the problem in these lines. मरते हम भी हैं, मरते तुम भी हो. हम सस्ता बेच के मरते हैं, तुम महंगा खरीद के मरते हो. The Government of India has been aware of the issues with the APMCs and had proposed a Model APMC Act in 2003. The Model Act provided some freedom to the farmers to sell their produce directly to contract sponsors or private markets, individuals, consumers, or producers. Despite a decade of pursuing, most state governments did not implement these reforms. In 2016, Niti Aayog came up with another Model Act, but not much progress has taken place. The central government has recently asked states to relax their APMC laws for at least 3 months to contain the spread of coronavirus. But why only for 3 months? These reforms should be permanent. Why did it have to take a pandemic for us to start thinking about making the farmers' lives easier? The rot in agricultural markets runs deep. Reform will require efforts from different directions and in different ways to undo the deeply political web of relations between stakeholders. There is resistance and fear among all farmers, traders, and commission agents. But without reforms, farmers are the ones who will continue to suffer the most. So basically, farmers should be free to sell their produce to anyone they like at all times at the place and price they decide.
Why should only farmers be restricted in selling his produce to only some licensees and not be open to sell it to whoever he wants to sell? So we want to give farmers the choice so that he'll be able to sell his products at an attractive price, have no barriers in interstate movement, and make sure that he is able to e-trade. So a central law is being proposed.
Recently, the central government announced a reform in the system by making a new law on the mandis. Model laws have been promulgated by the central government on this issue in 2003 and again in 2016 with little adaptation by the states. We will just have to wait and see if any announced reform actually happens. For more information, visit spontaneousorder.in and as always, like, share and subscribe.